The July movie season has finally begun with Jurassic World Rebirth. And of course, next week we are getting the highly anticipated Superman. Then we are getting Fantastic Four and all sorts of other films in the middle of that. And Jurassic World Rebirth, out of all three of these films coming out in July, it was at my bottom excitement levels. But I still really, really like the Jurassic films. The first one is one of my favourite films ever made. The second part of the park one it's okay. Three's my guilty pleasure. I really, really, really like World. Fallen Kingdom, I know a lot of people hate. I really like. And Dominion, I didn't think was that great of a film. And I didn't really enjoy it loads. There's some enjoyment to be had, but it wasn't my favourite. So we go in Jurassic World Rebirth. It's a soft reboot, and when they announced it, I was already slightly concerned because they said they're giving the makers a year and a half to make it, and for a big budget dinosaur film, that's not a lot of time to do it. Take the script, shooting, editing, all of that. But we got the film here. I saw it last night, and I've got some thoughts. I'm slightly underwhelmed, but I'm still not entirely negative on it. So with that said, let's get started with the positive of the film. And I think my favourite thing about this one is, I think this is going to remain and for a while, is that this film just takes it back to the basics. And I think a lot of people, including myself, are going to really appreciate that, because they kind of step away from that whole dinosaurs out in the world and stuff, and humans and dinosaurs coexisting, because we really wanted to see that in Dominion. They didn't really deliver on that, so I feel people are kind of bummed out about it, and they're like, you had your chance, now we've kind of lost interest. Me, I'm just leaning towards, I kind of just want more island adventures, and this film delivers on that. This film isn't trying to change the formula, it's not trying to reinvent the genre, it's just trying to add something, and it's just a little bit more to the franchise as a whole. And it does kind of feel like they did listen a little bit to Dominion's bad reception. There's not a hidden plot line. There's one little thing, but what I mean by that is the locusts in Dominion were hidden from the trailers. They weren't in anything. It was not even in any of the descriptions. This film doesn't really have that, so you don't need to go in worried that there's some random plot other than the one that they've already advertised. There is something else, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But it's different to the locust thing, and it's not as bad as that. And the plot is simple, but I didn't mind that, because this film really did remind me of Kong Skull Island, where you've got a group of people, they're on a mission, they go to an island to complete a task and stuff, and then all hell breaks loose, and then they try and get their mission done, and then their job is to just leave the island in one piece. That's what they try to do, and that is kind of what this film is. And I didn't mind the simple plot. I've seen a lot of people complain about it. The simple plot didn't bother me too much, because it kind of felt like they just wanted to jump into the island and the sea bit as quick as possible. And I think the plot works. I actually quite like the plot, if you don't want to hear about it, just skip 30 seconds. But it's a group of people, they're told that they can extract dinosaur DNA, which can make medical breakthroughs. So presumably cure diseases and things like that, and things like terminal diseases and whatnot. So it's kind of that. And when that's a real life thing, which is really terrible and things, it's kind of nice, just a little plot line where you can see that be resolved a little bit. I don't know, I really like that. And the simple plot does allow dino action sequences, like the raft scene, which they've been wanting to adapt since the original book, with the T-Rex. That scene's good. I enjoyed that bit. That might be my favourite scene of the film, actually. And Gareth Edwards, the director, if you didn't know, he directed Rogue One and The Creator, which came out a few years ago. I really liked that film. He was just the right director for this, because he was able to finally make the dinosaurs feel scary again and make them feel like an actual threat. I feel like when humans are controlling raptors and using lasers to point them at people, and then they're chasing them around on motorbikes, they almost feel more like a gimmick than they do an actual character or a threat. And I thought they brought that back here, because it's Take the raft scene, for example. The T-Rex is threatening in that scene, and you don't really know who's going to make it out alive, and it makes you question a little bit. So it's just like some stuff there, and they just managed to bring that back, and I hope that in future installments, presumably there will be, that they can keep that vibe and they can possibly expand on that as well. And, you know, it goes without saying, but the CGI and set pieces were amazing. I actually think the CGI and set pieces might be the best in the franchise so far. CGI, definitely. The detail on the dinosaurs has never looked better. And just, you can just feel the grand scope in scale and size. It's like then they're climbing down like these massive mountains. You know, you've got Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey like climbing down these mountains. And it's just good. It's really, really good. And it's just, you feel immersed and you feel that big grand scale, so it's really, really good. I saw a few people complaining about Scarlett Johansson in this film, saying she's miscast. I don't think so. I actually thought she was one of the most entertaining parts of the film. Jonathan Bailey, a few people weren't keen on him. I actually thought he was okay. Mahershala Ali, why aren't you doing Blade? For good reason. But Mahershala Ali was really good in this, and it's really sad because I think he would be a great Blade, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. So with that said, let's move on to the mixed aspects of Jurassic World Rebirth. And there's no mid post-credit scene. I always get asked that with these sorts of films. There's no mid, there's no post-credit scene. You can leave as you go. And I also, just, this is a quick little thing, I recommend just not watching any more trailers or TV spots or anything, which is going to lead me into my first negative, which is the trailers give away way too much. And I know that could be said as my fault for watching the trailers. I'll take responsibility for that. And, you know, everyone else is saying, oh, trailers ruin stuff. It's our choice to watch trailers, so it's perfectly understandable. But never have I seen a Jurassic film before literally reveal every single detail in the trailers. Every single big battle is in the trailers. And if you just watch the trailers, like if you just watch the raft scene or the scene at the end, you can picture and you can put together how this is going to, how this situation is going to conclude and how it's going to end. So keep that in mind there, just when going into this film. So just maybe don't watch anymore. It's up to you. It's obviously, it's not my choice, but I would say if I were you, I would just stay away from watching anything else now. And I'm not showing footage in this video either. And the film takes way too long to get going. And I know I said like the plot is simple and they want to get you out at the sea, I said, because I didn't realise how long we were spending out at sea before we get to the island. And I don't mean the Mosasaurus or Spinosaurus scene. I don't mean that, because that is like 3 or 4 minutes. And then there's like 25-30 minutes just out at sea. There's a lot of dialogue. They try to get a bit of character development in there. You know, we've got Scarlett Johansson's character who's had a little bit of a traumatic backstory, and they kind of add her connections to some of the other characters, and we've got a little backstory of Mahershala Ali. I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to spoil it. And it's fine. It just kind of felt like they were dragging it out a lot, and I just felt like we could speed this up, because the film is like 2 hours and like 15 minutes, I think. We could definitely speed up and get faster. Like, it just doesn't need to be this long. So I really wasn't hooked within the first 40 minutes, and I'm not gonna lie. And the Mosasaurus scene, I was underwhelmed by. I know some people saying it's one of the best scenes in the franchise. I thought it was so fast, and I thought when the Mosasaurus and Spinosaurus being advertised so much, and like there was going to be a massive team up scene, and they were going to go flying around, swimming around, trying to get people. They don't really deliver on that. And kind of coming on to that point is the D-Rex in this film. If you don't know what the D-Rex is, it's the one that has got the really big head. And it's been the massive marketing thing. You know, they've been making popcorn buckets for it, and they've been putting out Funko Pops and toys and all sorts of stuff, all sorts of merchandise and stuff like that. And when I tell you the D-Rex is barely in this film, and I think when we say a character's barely in the film, we sometimes exaggerate it. I've done that before. But literally the D-Rex is in it start and end. It's not like a Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 where it's kind of like showing up at different parts throughout the film. It's not that. It's at the beginning, no significance to the entire plot, and then shows up at the end. It's there genuinely to probably sell toys, to put it on the poster and advertise a new big scary hybrid dinosaur. I don't know, I was pretty underwhelmed by it. It looked cool, and when they had it on, it was really, really good. And those scenes were some of the best scenes in the film. But, yeah, and both of the sequences with the D-Rex are in the trailers. That does come to my point again. And kind of one of my final negatives here is some of the characters were really frustrating. And when I said about this other subplot, is there's just this family in the film. And they were barely advertised within the trailers. And there's 4 of them. There's a dad, there's 2 daughters, and there's a boyfriend. The boyfriend, I cannot lie, might be one of the most annoying characters in this entire franchise. And I don't mean any bad to the actor or any of the actors or actresses in that family. I'm not trying to, hate on them or anything, because I'm not saying they did a bad job. I just think they were written very poorly. And they're kind of the teenager guy is made as a character that you're not supposed to like, but he's just so on the nose that there's no redeeming qualities when they're actually trying to make some. So you just don't feel it and you don't see it. And I just thought the family just could have been completely cut. There was no need for them, because there's also this other bit in the first 40 minutes that takes way too long with them, where you think it's going to be a dinosaur battle. It's not a dinosaur battle, it's a boat battle. It's almost like a shark film where in the first 20 minutes the shark attacks the boat and then swims away. And then you've got them all trying to get off the boat and trying to get on top and things like that. Like, there's a scene like that, but it's not a dinosaur scene, it's just a boat scene. And I don't know, it was really frustrating for me, because I just thought we were going to get some cool dinosaur action with it. There wasn't, and by the end of it, I didn't feel a lot of emotion with them. And yeah, I just kind of felt like I didn't really know why they were there. I guess one of the characters they do connect it a little bit with, but still, there wasn't a whole lot there. And there's also there's like a few characters as well that you're not supposed to like. There's a minor antagonists, if you will, if that's what you want to call them. And they're not exactly bad. They're just not very nice people. And they just have got different views to our protagonists. And that's the conflict. There's one character who's slightly different, but you've got people in there who are just like, yeah, I don't care for these animals. They have no significance in this world. No one likes them. So it's just like, yeah, but that's all there is to the character. There's nothing else. They don't really even do anything to show that. And that was really, really frustrating for me. And I don't know, I thought the last 40 minutes were good, but the rest of it was really frustrating for me. And I left the film a bit frustrated. Like I say, it's not the worst one of the franchise. I didn't hate it, but it's a relatively safe Jurassic Park film with some fun action sequences. We've got Scarlett Johansson, we've got Jonathan Bailey in there. They're both really, really good in it. Say what you want to say. I really, really enjoyed them too. I thought Mahershala Ali was also great in there as well. He might actually have been my favourite character in the film. He just had a lot of weight to his character, and there was quite a lot of he probably got the most development out of all the characters. But I'm not going to go out and say this is a massive misfire. I'm not going to say this is a terrible film. In fact, I'm not even going to say don't go see it. I'm just going to say it's a mixed film. But the rewatchability is there. I think this will be one of those ones that I will go back to quite a lot. Again, this is coming from someone who really likes Fallen Kingdom, and that is one of my go-to Jurassic films. Say what you want to say about that film. I really like it. But I do think this one has got that rewatchability. Especially because it's we've just got one of them for now. And it's not like hinted that they're properly setting up a sequel. They might. I mean, it's making like 318 million on this first weekend. So they might do a sequel, or they might just kind of leave it and just keep doing new Jurassic films with a Marvel actor or actress as the main lead. Maybe that's what they'll go for, or something like that. But with all that said, guys, that is going to wrap up this video. So thank you so much for watching. Please do comment and subscribe to your friends and family. Let me know your thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you somewhere in the middle? I'm going to give the film, I'm not really going to rate it, but I'll give it a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10, I think. And Jurassic fans, go see it. I definitely think there's some fun to be had. I had a lot of fun with it, towards the end of the film and things like that. But I genuinely think there is some good thrills to have. It goes back to the basics. It doesn't require, you don't even need to have seen Jurassic World, really. You can just go straight into this one and have a really, really good time. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do have a great rest of your day. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth down below. Would you like me to do a ranking? And there's many more videos on the way, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.